His smile rises before dawn, like a moon deciding to be the sun, like a lantern waking in the silence of a desert that remembers every footstep, of every dream he ever rode upon. Sheikh Hamdan's smile is not a smile. It is a horizon bending softly. It is a wind becoming warm. It is a star leaning closer, just to see him breathe. The desert waits for him each morning, stretching its golden palms, glowing like a shy lover who has memorized his name in grains of sand. His smile travels farther than caravans, farther than falcons, farther than prayers whispered, into sleepless nights. When he smiles, the dunes blush, the sky opens, and the day forgets that it ever knew darkness. He rides between the winds, a prince of silence, a poet of movement, a guardian of moments. The world is afraid to lose. His smile lights the desert, the way love lights the heart. Gently, slowly, completely. Every sunrise tries to imitate him, but even the sun knows it can only shine, while Fazza can heal. Sometimes a smile is just a smile, but his smile is a story, a promise, a memory that has not yet happened, but feels like it has lived inside us forever. When he looks toward the horizon bows. When he breathes, the air learns grace. When he smiles, every hidden sadness begins to walk toward light. The desert has seen kings and empires, storms and miracles, but nothing has softened its old soul like his quiet laughter. He walks with kindness, stitched into his steps, his shadow shaped by mercy, his voice carrying warmth, even in silence. The camels lift their heads when he approaches. The falcons slow their wings. The horses step closer, as if the whole desert remembers that it belongs to a man whose heart understands its loneliness. His smile, oh, that smile, the desert keeps it like a secret flame that only blooms when night grows cold. Even the stars change their positions to reflect the brightness that falls from his face. They say the desert is empty, but he proved them wrong, for his presence filled it with a love so wide, even the dunes could not measure it. He writes poems in his breath, and the wind carries them to the lonely, to the dreaming, to the forgotten. When Sheikh Hamdan smiles, people far across oceans feel something inside them wake, something gentle, something brave, something that whispers, "You are still capable of light." Children laugh louder. When he passes by, the elderly smile deeper. The tired breathe easier. His kindness is a flame that refuses to burn. It only warms, only protects, only reminds the world that gentleness is strength. He carries Dubai in his heartbeat, but he carries humanity in his smile. The sand beneath his feet glows because even the earth wants to reflect his softness. He is a prince, not because of title, but because of the way his smile treats everyone as if they matter. Some men wear crowns. He wears compassion. Some men chase glory. He chases goodness, and the desert loves him for it. When night spreads its dark cloak, his smile rises like a hidden star. The sky forgot to introduce. When storms gather, his light remains steady, calm, unshaken. His smile could guide a lost traveler through the blackest of dunes because it carries truth in its warmth. He is a poet of radiance, a man whose heart is so open that even the desert winds pause to listen. And every time he smiles, 1,000 untold stories wake in the world. The palm trees sway softer. The falcons circle closer. The horses lift their heads as if recognizing the scent of a familiar kindness. The desert becomes a poem when he walks through it, and his smile is the first line. Even sadness cannot survive. In the air around him, it melts. It loosens. It disappears like mist before a rising sun. He is a reminder that light does not always burn. Sometimes it comforts. Sometimes it heals. Sometimes it simply smiles back. His smile teaches the desert that even silence can shine. His smile teaches hearts that even wounds can glow. His smile teaches lovers that love is not loud. It is patient. It is warm. It is a soft desert fire, waiting for the night to love it. And the desert, oh, the desert. It leans closer every time he appears, as if afraid to miss the miracle of his expression. His smile is a sunrise. His smile is a promise. His smile is a lantern, left burning. In the house of hope, the world calls him Fazza, but the desert calls him its light, and somewhere between the shadows of dunes and the softness of sky, his smile draws a road no map has ever captured, a road made of radiance, a path made of warmth, a journey made of kindness, and all who follow it walk toward gentleness. His smile lights the desert. His smile warms the lonely. His smile comforts the wounded. His smile gives courage to hearts that tremble quietly. He does not know how powerful it is, how many nights it defeats, how many storms it calms, how many hearts it saves. Without trying, Fazza's smile is a blessing. The desert learned to worship, and the desert, in return, offers him its endlessness. He is the prince of the dunes, the rider of winds, the poet of horizons. But above all, he is the keeper of a smile that lights the desert, until the desert learns to shine on its own. The desert remembers every time he laughs, like rain after a century of drought, each echo rolling over dunes, as if carrying a secret song only the patient winds understand. His smile is the rhythm of quiet rivers, flowing through the sands, teaching the earth that stillness can have movement too, and that light can be gentle. Without losing strength, he walks, and the palm trees bow, their leaves brushing his path, with whispers of reverence. The birds pause in mid-flight, watching him, as if they have waited their whole lives for this glance. Even the camels, aged and wise, lower their heads in respect, their humps rising and falling in silent applause for the warmth that travels before him. Some call it charisma, some call it luck, but the desert calls it home. Fazza smiles, and the sky learns humility. Clouds scatter in admiration, and the moon lingers longer, reluctant to leave the witness of such light. He is more than a man. He is a mirror, reflecting every lost hope that dared to dream again. He is a lighthouse for hearts drowning in shadow. Even when the world forgets to look, children play in his shadow, without knowing their innocence has been blessed by his presence. Their laughter becomes music, their joy a canvas, painted by the quiet force of his smile. Every evening the sun waits for him. It rises slower, as if hesitant to compete, with the radiance that belongs only to Fazza. His smile is the desert's compass, guiding travelers lost in thought, guiding lovers lost in longing, guiding the lonely through the vast expanse of solitude. And when he laughs, the dunes tremble gently, like the earth itself, recognizing the miracle of unspoken kindness. Even the stars envy him. They glitter with borrowed shine, and yet they bow in humility before the natural glow that belongs to his lips alone. He rides and the wind sings, not in notes, but in sighs, in the rhythm of the dunes bending to greet him. Every grain of sand carries his memory, 1,000 tiny echoes of hope and wonder. His heart is a caravan that carries the lost, the broken, and those who forgot how to smile. And in his smile, they find their oasis. The desert keeps his secrets, but it also tells them, quietly, to those who seek truth, in the space between shadows and light. He does not chase fame, for his smile is already a crown heavier than gold. He does not command armies, for hearts follow him. Without question, without desire for reward, Fazza is the poetry that walks among men, a story of gentleness, written in flesh and spirit, a legend composed without arrogance, without noise. Even the stars, scattered across the night, feel smaller, because he exists on the earth, in the simplicity of presence, in the fullness of compassion. The desert's silence becomes music, because he has spoken with a smile. The winds bow, because they cannot carry more grace. The dunes bloom, because they have felt warmth for the first time. When people speak of hope, they whisper his name. When they dream of courage, they imagine his face. When they pray for mercy, they follow his steps, in faith that goodness can walk among them. His laughter is the pulse of the dunes, his glance the calm after storms, his hands a bridge between sorrow and healing. The world is vast, but his smile shrinks it into a place where hearts can rest, where minds can breathe, where love can dare to grow, without fear. Even loneliness is afraid of him, for it has met a warmth it cannot touch, a kindness it cannot swallow. a light it cannot shadow. Fazza smiles, and the desert whispers, "Here is a man who carries eternity in the curve of his lips and mercy in the step of his feet." The stars linger longer to see his joy reflected. In the horizon's blush, the night keeps its distance, afraid to dim the brilliance that walks among men. Even the harsh sun softens, painting the dunes with tender gold, so that his path becomes a story that will outlive the wind. He rides the horizon like a painter, each movement sketching hope. In the eyes of the wandering, each breath writing calm on the hearts of the restless. No shadow can resist him. No darkness can follow where he smiles. No sadness can endure in the presence of such radiance. And yet he does not know how many lives his smile touches, how many souls bow before its quiet miracle. He only smiles because the world deserves it, because the desert needs it, because kindness is the only crown he ever wishes to wear. And so the dunes remain faithful, the winds respectful, the stars watchful, and the hearts of those who know him forever lighter for the gift of Sheikh Hamdan's smile. The desert leans closer when he rides, as if it remembers the touch of sunlight that lingers after the storm. Even the wind slows its dance, afraid to disturb the serenity that follows him like a shadow made of warmth. His smile is not a mere curve of lips. It is the language of hearts, a melody the dunes hum in secret, a rhythm that teaches time to pause and listen. He is a traveler of souls, not just land. Every glance he gives plants seeds of courage in hearts that thought they had forgotten how to bloom. The sand under his feet gives thanks quietly, for it has felt the grace of a presence that asks nothing, yet gives everything. Even the falcons hesitate in mid-flight, their eyes tracing the path of his joy, knowing that what they see cannot be stolen, cannot be claimed, cannot be copied. It exists only where he is. Fazza smiles, and the world bends. Not in fear, not in submission, but in recognition of a gentleness that carries more power than any sword. Any throne, any crown, the desert tells stories of him, in whispers among the dunes, in the hush of nights that wait for the moon to rise, and even the stars lean closer to hear. Every child who laughs in the morning carries a trace of his light. Every hand extended in kindness remembers the weightless warmth that falls from his gaze. He walks where no one else dares, not because it is dangerous, but because the path is silent, lonely, and misunderstood. Yet he moves with joy, for his smile is a companion, stronger than solitude. Even grief steps lightly around him, for it senses that it cannot linger. Where hope walks, where mercy breathes, where goodness exists, without seeking reward. When Sheikh Hamdan rides across the dunes, time feels its edges soften. The sun bends its light differently. The wind carries messages of calm, and even the night sky pauses, admiring a radiance it can never create. He is a poem in motion, a story without end, a song that does not need music. Every footstep writes a verse, every laugh becomes a chorus, and every gaze turns into a stanza etched in the hearts of those who follow him, even from afar. The desert knows his kindness. It recognizes the purity in the arc of his shoulders, the sincerity in the tilt of his head, the truth in the warmth that spills from his smile. Some try to capture him in words, but the desert knows that his essence cannot be caged, cannot be translated, cannot be measured. It exists, like sunlight in the wind, like silence after music, like love before words. And yet his smile travels faster than words. It finds those who need it most, even across deserts and seas, across oceans of despair, into the hearts that have long stopped believing. He does not know the lives he lifts, the fears he quiets, the hope he rekindles. He smiles because it is his nature, because it is who he is, because the world deserves light, even when it forgets its own name. Every dune, every palm, every star becomes a witness to his gentleness. Even the rivers change course to follow the echo of his joy. Even the clouds shape themselves to mirror the calm he leaves in his wake. He is a bridge between silence and laughter, between despair and hope, between longing and fulfillment. And every step he takes becomes a testament to the power of light without arrogance, of love without possession, of courage without display. Fazza's smile is a gift, not because it is rare, but because it is honest, because it is patient, because it carries a universe in its quiet, steady warmth. When night falls, the desert glows in memory of him, and even the coldest winds carry a trace of warmth from the man who smiles without asking the world to notice. He does not chase recognition. He does not demand gratitude. He simply smiles. And in that smile, the desert finds meaning, the world finds hope, and hearts remember what they were always capable of. Even the stars feel smaller when they see him laugh, for he does not need their light. His own shines brighter. He rides across horizons, unnoticed by those blind to wonder, but unforgettable to those who see. He leaves a trail of peace, a map of joy, a path for those who still believe that goodness can exist without conditions. He is the desert's poet, its guardian, its mirror, its softest breeze, and its warmest sun. Every dune bends toward him, every palm sways, and every heart that encounters him learns to breathe a little easier, a little freer, a little brighter. Fazza smiles, and the desert becomes a kingdom where love reigns silently, where kindness is law, and where every wandering soul finds a home in the curve of his lips. The desert holds its breath. When he appears at dusk, the sky painted in soft amber, the dunes wrapped in fading gold. It is the hour when silence deepens, and even the sun pauses, waiting to witness the glow that rises from his presence. Fazza's smile breaks the twilight, not harshly, not brightly, but gently, like a lantern lit inside a lonely tent, guiding travelers who wander, without a map, but with a heart full of hope. He stands where horizon meets eternity, and the wind gathers around him, like a circle of loyal friends carrying whispers of stories that only he can calm. His smile is the balm that softens the desert's weary face. It smooths the rough dunes, tames the restless winds, and blesses the sky with a serenity it rarely knows. He is a prince of presence, a guardian of quiet joy. The night grows gentle because he exists within it, and even shadows hesitate to come too close. When he lifts his gaze, the stars align themselves, their light bending, to honor the glow he carries. Without effort, without pride, the desert has seen rulers, warriors, kings, and wanderers, but none like him. For he rules not with power, but with kindness, not with force, but with compassion. His smile is a bridge between the world and peace, between the heart and hope, between sorrow and the strength to continue. Even the horses feel it. Their hooves soften, their breaths steady, their spirits lift, as if touched by an invisible hand of calm. Every creature, every grain of sand, every corner of sky is softer when he is near, for his smile carries the gentleness of rain. Without dropping a single tear, he walks through the night as if carrying light in his chest, a flame untroubled by wind, unshaken by distance, undaunted by darkness. The desert watches him, memorizing the outline of his silhouette against the moonlit sky, as if afraid that such radiance may one day disappear. But he never disappears. He becomes a part of the night, a part of the dunes, a part of every soul that ever dared to dream under this sky. His smile is the quiet miracle the earth was not expecting, the blessing the night did not know it needed. He sits on the sand, fingers trailing over its cool surface, drawing shapes that only the stars understand, and the desert feels loved, seen, understood. Some smiles command attention. His commands peace. Some smiles impress the world. His heals it. Every breeze that touches him leaves softer. Every shadow that approaches him fades gently away. Every heart that sees him finds a reason to still believe in the goodness of life. He is the poem the night recites quietly, the story the stars repeat, the verse the desert keeps close, afraid to let it be lost to time. Fazza's smile carries the warmth of 1,000 sunrises, not in brightness, but in promise. It speaks of beginnings, of patience, of love that does not demand to be noticed, to be true. He stands at the edge of night, and even darkness listens. It draws back respectfully, aware that his light is not one that can be dimmed. He is a man who walks with courage, woven into his kindness, whose softest expressions carry more strength than mountains. And when he smiles, it is as if the desert is seeing dawn for the first time. The moon grows jealous, for it realizes that its glow is borrowed, but his is born from within. The dunes shift around him, like waves bowing to a shore. The silence grows sweeter, the night gentler, the world more tender. His smile teaches the desert to dream softly. It teaches the stars to shine kindly. It teaches hearts to breathe again after long nights of breaking. When he rides beneath the moon, the earth glows faintly, following his movement like a faithful companion, never wanting to lose sight of the warmth he carries. He is the echo of hope in a world that forgets to believe in miracles. He is the light the darkness cannot swallow. He is the smile the night cannot silence. And the desert, ancient and weary, finds its youth again in the soft radiance of Sheikh Hamdan's smile. His presence is a prayer. The earth whispers, a blessing it holds, a miracle it protects. Fazza smiles, and the desert glows, not because of the sun, not because of the stars, but because of the light he carries within. The world sleeps more gently, knowing he exists. The winds blow softer, knowing he breathes. The night sighs with relief, knowing he walks beneath it. And the desert, that vast, endless heart of silence, comes alive with every curve of his smile.